not a game, it's a rich thing.
What's up, everybody? Ashley here. Welcome to Love Me again. Thanks for joining. And today's episode is called Mirror in the Making. This episode is about self-reflection and what it does for us. Self-reflection raises self-awareness. It helps our perspective or the lens that we're looking through. And it also helps us be better people. And also helps with being present and intentional with the things that we do. Ways that we're going to talk about it is we're going to look at our physical, mental, and spiritual mirror. So self-reflection, what is it? Self-reflection is pretty much looking into a mirror of the things that we do. Sometimes we look back in the past and reflect on that, which we shouldn't dwell on the past, only use it as a rear view mirror. But in the present day, use a mirror in front of you for your self-reflection and use it as a way to basically look from the outside to your inside or your inside out, depending on the situation and how that lens can help you. Now, some people use self-reflection by putting themselves in other people's shoes, being a fly on the wall, or other things of that nature. Now, the way I self-reflect, I pay attention to my feelings. So the previous episode, we talked about checking in. So we know that checking in is asking ourselves, hey, are you okay? How am I doing today? How did that make me feel? And then self-reflection delves deeper into that. So it's digging into your energy. You looking at the mirror at you. And as Cat Williams says, stay in tune with your Allstar player, the you in the mirror. So if you're feeling some type of way or you notice that you didn't get the desired effect that you wanted, you know what I'm saying? Or for me, prime example, because it's hard to describe, is I know that I'm impatient. I'm impatient as far as myself. When I'm listening to someone talking to me and I'm trying to be an active listener, I'm being active, yes, and I'm listening, but I'm actively listening to my own thoughts. I'm actively trying to use predictive text or the predictive voice and what I think they're going to talk about. But those are all projections of something from inside myself. And I had to realize that I'm projecting what I want people to say or what I think they're going to say. But that's what I want. That's not what they want. I'm being impatient with myself and others. But when I anticipate when someone's going to say before they say it, sometimes you can do that and somebody be like, such and such finishes my sentences. But are they really finishing your sentences? Are they putting words in your mouth? And that's something we have to be careful about. And we have to be more present and intentional. I have to intentionally listen. And that's the part where meditation, has come into play in my life. I've had to meditate, and that's helped me silence my mind and slow me down because I'm always go, go, go. I'm moving so fast. And in this world, that's what we do. And you can't always be go, go, go because it's not the way it works. Sometimes you can, but there's a time to slow down. There is a time for all of us to take a minute, breathe in, breathe out, and then carry out what you're trying to do. So looking at my energy and my energy, get it? Energy. We gotta talk about that shit a whole nother day. But looking inside at my energy, like, I have to look at myself sometimes and be like, why are you feeling like this? Why are you getting upset? Because I'm causing myself anxiety. I'm causing myself anxiety trying to think of what I want somebody else to say, but not knowing that that's what I want them to say because it's what I'm expecting, but I'm also projecting. So if I'm impatient, it's because I don't want to be present and take the time to listen. And I'm causing myself anxiety. Would you believe it? I'm causing myself anxiety. We do that a lot and don't even realize it every day. When you're trying to get somebody to hurry up and rush and get out what they're trying to say, everybody's not like you. And that's the beauty of the world. All the beautiful minds that are out there, the different ways we articulate things and communicate with each other. It's not just one way. It's a million ways to skin a cat. We often look in our mirror in different ways. For me, like I said, looking at what causes me anxiety or stressed out when I think about things from my past that I try to bring to the present. I can't bring those things to the present because that's affecting me and the relationship that I have with that person that I'm talking to, right? So if it's a regular cordial conversation at work, that's affecting my relationship and theirs and our way of communicating, because if I continue to do that to them, they may not want to talk to me. They may limit the conversations. They may assume, which we're going to talk about the 4 agreements, they might assume that I'm not listening. I have to slow down and I have to be patient and listen to what they're saying so I won't give myself anxiety. How do you know when you need to reflect, when you need to do self-reflection? Do you do your reflection at the end of the day? Do you think about your day and how it went? Do you think about things that you could have done better and things that you did really good? Because sometimes self-reflection isn't about the negative, but self-reflection is about self-improvement. And it's a constant exercise. It's like working out. It's something we have to work out and strengthen, that self-reflection muscle, that part of our brain where everything's not just black and white. Everything's not so simple. Yes, you can make this meal, but what would you do different? Yes, this meal was really good, but maybe it was too much salt. Yes, this meal was good, but maybe I could add something else to it. Not that it was bad. It was delicious. Let me just add some, I made some quinoa and kale salad. Maybe I'll use spinach this time. Maybe I made spaghetti and meatballs, but instead this time I'm going to use Beyond Meat. Looking into that reflective mirror of the present day. Now, things in the past you can look at and reflect on, but don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on it and think of the negative. When it comes to reflection, you should be as neutral and objective as possible. We don't need to entertain negative self-talk because you are good. You are you. You're the best you that you could possibly be in this moment right now. And you should love that and embrace it. And if there's something that you're not happy with or you're not content with, if there's something that you want to improve on and there's areas of improvement that you see you have, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to make something better, you're already doing good, better, best. Let's do it. You could be the #1 origami paper mache maker, but you'll still find something that you want to do something different with or change or modify. There's nothing wrong with change. Change is growth. Looking within ourselves can help ourselves and others. We have to take that action to move forward for progress. And so let's continue to self-reflection. I wrote on my IG that self-reflection is looking in the mirror and getting a better sense of self-awareness. And it helps us to be a better version of ourselves by looking at our energy. The way to determine if your energy is in tune is to go deep and think about a moment where it didn't go as smoothly as you wanted. And that's what I think about when I bring up the fact that I'm impatient with myself. That was a moment where I was wondering, why am I getting impatient? Why am I getting upset? Why am I feeling anxious? It happens to me more often than not, and I don't like the way it feels. So that's part of me checking in with myself. Step 1, let me check in with myself. How am I doing? Step 2, self-reflect. Why am I feeling like this? Let me bring awareness to the feeling and why I feel like this. And it's like, what did I do well? What could I improve? Well, one thing I can improve is silence the voice in my head. Yes, there's a voice in our head. No, I'm not talking about no me, myself, and Irene type stuff. But we all have that voice in our head, right? That is saying that, noticing outside it's cold and you're saying, oh, it'll get better, or it's hot outside. I'm going to be inside the house soon. I can get in the air and I cool off and drink some cold water. That's that voice in your head. And it's okay. It's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with having a little, self-talk. As long as it's positive, that's what we're shooting for, is positive self-talk. And with asking these questions, we answer them positively. Don't talk negative to yourself. Let's keep it cool. Let's keep it copacetic. Let's keep it kosher. Silence the voice in my head. Focus on that person. And I know it's hard right now because I'm half deaf. So me trying to look at people's mouths is really hard because people be having masks on, right? I look at people's mouths to help me better engage. So I'm focused and they have my intention. Making eye contact helps me pay attention and fully listen to grasp what they're saying. Also, something I could do is ask for feedback or ask follow-up questions to get clarity. Sometimes you have to ask yourself questions to get clarity as well, not just other people when you're listening. So how would you ask for clarity? Okay, what did I do well? What can I do to improve? Well, if you say, okay, I did well at engaging in the conversation. How did I engage? Did I ask questions that were engaging questions, or did I just respond? Sometimes it's better to listen to assist you in that process is to ask more questions, not respond to the things that they're saying, because if someone's talking to you, they might not want your response. Me being impatient with myself is my freaking ego. Yes, our egos aren't going away, but we have to find a way to coexist with our egos, right? You know, our egos can tell you like, I'm hungry right now and it's 2:00 in the morning. Like, you should eat. Get up and eat. You got Esther talk about, I'm hungry. Let's get up. No. Esther, go to take your ass to sleep. We going to bed. No, we're not doing it. Like, you got to reflect. Like, this is not that moment. This is a small moment of self-reflection because you're self-aware. You're aware of that moment and what's going on. And so self-reflection is something you can use in every aspect of your life. It's not just your personal relationships, dating. It's your relationships at work. It can help you be a better leader. It can help you be a better follower and a better employee, a better entrepreneur, a better father, a better mother, a better brother, a better sister, a better best friend. But I know I could be better. And that's where self-reflection can take place. We can always be better. We can always improve. Self-reflection is like constructive criticism for yourself. But it's hard to listen to it when somebody else says it. So imagine it when you tell yourself. Don't take it that hard. No negative self-talk around here. Only positive, because we're trying to have growth. We're going to water these plants and we're going to take that look in the mirror and we're going to be neutral. We're going to be cool and be like, all right, so I woke up this morning, my hair was a little messed up. You know what? I'm going to do it better tomorrow. All right, I've been working out, but I only work out 1 day a week. Let's shoot for 2-3 days this time. All right, well, I've been doing upper body. I'm going to do legs. All right, spiritually, okay, I meditate, or I try meditating and I can't sit still. Why can't you sit still? Have you tried journaling during your meditation? I mean, and it's different for everybody, you know, spiritually, you know, whether you pray, whether you meditate, whether you chant. But sometimes journaling and documenting this process can help you. It can help you get clarity to understand, and you can reflect on why those things are in your mind, why those ideas and those thoughts are floating around. Because sometimes, like I said, your ego can get you. One thing that you can do, and some steps that I use, are the stop, look, listen, and act. When I stop, I take a step back from that moment or that situation. I really assess what's going on. Like, I just see the situation and I think about it. And then I look at my energy and identify what I see and I notice it to get perspective. So check it out. I'm at work and somebody says something to me, right? And they say something and they're like, you did really good teaching this class, but where you could do better is making more eye contact, or you could do better by going more in depth, right? So I'm stopping, right? And I'm looking at that situation. Okay, I could have done better. I did good, right? And I could have done better. Okay, so where could I have done better at? Making eye contact and going more in depth in particular areas and subjects. Okay, so I'm looking at my energy, like looking in that mirror. All right, I see you, see me, see you. Okay, you was teaching, you was doing the damn thing, you was doing your job, but you could do a little bit better like this. So let's implement doing this. So you listen to your gut. Like, does that feel right? What you're telling yourself or what was said, like reflecting on what somebody else said, because it doesn't always have to be reflection on just you, the singular. Self-reflection can be about a situation or an interaction with people or an experience somewhere. So you take that situation, moment, or experience, and again, like I said, stop, look, and then you listen. You listen to your gut. And my gut tells me that, you know what? They're right. I could go more in depth to engage the class more and give them more information to help them with a better understanding, because everybody learns differently. I can't just expect people to grasp a topic based off of one thing that I've said when I teach. And the final step is act. And if you see an area of improvement or something that you do well, take action to change, adjust, or improve that area. So for me, with this situation and teaching, the area that I would improve in is add more information. So you're listening to that and following your gut, like, okay, I agree with that. This is the process. We walk down it and see that, okay, this is what I can do. And you actually make the change and implement that change. The thing is, the act is the most important part. Just because you are aware of something, and this is something I am guilty of, and it's okay. It's self-awareness. Self-reflection, self-awareness go hand in hand. We have to act. Just because we know something and we're aware of it, if we don't take action, that reflection is almost in vain because you're not making a change. And if you want change, you can't do the same thing over and over again and expect different results, because y'all know what that is. And I know everybody knows this definition. Everybody does. What's that definition, y'all? Say it for me in the back. Insanity. So we know that's the definition of insanity. If you're trying to do better and improve with that self-awareness through self-reflection, you need to implement that action. You need to implement that change, that modification. And it's okay to change. So you stay in tune with your energy and look in that mirror. Stay in tune with your all-star player and know that the only person who's going to really make you happy is yourself. And one of the ways is to love yourself and check in, look in that mirror. And when you're looking in the mirror, everything's not always going to be peachy keen every day and sunshine and rainbows. But what are you grateful for? I woke up this morning. I got a job. I have family. I have friends that care about me. I have a mind that works, that's capable of uplifting myself and self-improvement so I can get back on my grind. I can shine from the inside out. I can love myself, and this love feels good. I woke up this morning and I woke up loving myself. And so that's something we can linger on, right? So let me tell you another quick story. 10 years or so ago, I was living in Florida. I had a homeboy and he was like, oh yeah, you can stay with me. And I ended up living with him. I lived in a retirement community in a trailer with him and his dad. He was on house arrest. They were very kind, very nice people. However, they had their own problems going on that I wasn't aware of. I know my energy was just like, cool. My people, we take care of each other. They helped me get back on my feet because I didn't have the money to really rent a place to myself. Fast forward to me living there and, everything is all good. And our lights get cut off right around Thanksgiving. And I'm wondering like, oh my God, how our lights come off. So I'm paying this money. The lights get cut off. So I'm wondering where the money's going because my homeboy daddy was working. He was working too. So it's like we got 3 incomes in a retirement community and our shit get cut off. We end up using an extension cord running from the neighbors into our house. Had a lot of stuff plugged up. The neighbors eventually unplugged it at some point in time, but they wrote a check and the lights came back on. So I'm thinking everything is all good. And it happens again right before Christmas. Our lights are off. We had the extension cord running through again. But I stopped and I looked at the situation and I looked at what was going on. Context clues. Okay, this isn't the first time it's happening. This is the second. And then I listened to my gut and I was like, something is up. I don't know what my intuition was telling me, but I will say it time and time again. I take heed to signs, and I took heed to these signs, and I packed all my things in my car because I didn't have like a big room. I didn't have furniture. I basically had been living out of my car for a while. At that time, I didn't know what else to do. So I went to work. I was working retail and I worked 2 jobs. Like I got a second job, which was wild because it's like, why didn't you go get a place of your own? I was trying to help my friends out. It's a moment of self-reflection. After I listened to my gut, I took action. I put my stuff in my car. And one of these days, I think it was maybe a day or 2 later, they locked the trailer. They locked that mug and nobody could get in there. And then my homie told me, he's like, yeah, they locked the doors and we can't get in. It was messed up for me to get my things out and put them in my car. But it was self-preservation. It was self-reflection. I was literally reflecting on what was going on. I didn't even know what I was really doing. I was just taking heed to signs and listening to my gut because I just, something didn't sit well with me, which is why I checked in with myself like, hey, self, is this right to you? Is there anything that's off about the situation? Well, let's look at it. Okay, well, we got 3 adults doing this. And then after I moved out, after I ended up like packing my stuff and didn't have a place to stay, I was homeless for a little bit. Then I ended up in a worse situation, which we'll talk about later. That situation was rough. And I had to have a moment of self-reflection to get myself out of that situation, because I could have kept doing the same thing over and over again and been okay with the lights getting cut off, then back on, off, on. And I've had that situation in my childhood, growing up, where our lights were cut off, but not to this extent, because it was trust. It was trust with my family. I thought I trusted my friend, but something that I reflected on made that trust kind of go away. And so that falls under responsibility and fault, because we all have a choice. That's what the act portion of the stop, look, listen, act steps that I take are. And you don't have to take them in that, you don't have to take actual steps. It's just about the principle. If you can grasp the concept, we self-reflect, don't even realize we do. We think about our day. We talk about our days with our significant others, with our parents, with our friends, and we get feedback from it, you know? And that's the basis of most of our relationships with people and how we interact. Again, let's go back to us all having choices. You have a choice to take responsibility for your actions. You have a choice for what you do and how you do it, right? But sometimes we don't have a choice because people are at fault, but sometimes we're at fault, right? So in this situation, what I'm saying is my friend and his dad were at fault for letting this stuff happen, but I took responsibility for staying. I'm responsible for that. It was my fault that I was taking cold showers. It was my fault that I was okay with living this way, and I take responsibility that I didn't save my money and I was frivolously spending. And I was looking at my energy trying to be flashy and some more shit back then. But I had to realize that that wasn't the situation I needed to be in. And I had to reflect on it, right? And I looked at it and I was listening to myself, and I had to take action. I packed my stuff and I left. I take responsibility that I left, but it wasn't my fault that the trailer got locked up. For a while, I felt guilty because one of my homeboys was like, man, that's fucked up. And yeah, it was, but it was self-preservation. I was following the context clues. I was following the white rabbit. My gut gave me the answer that I was looking for. My gut gave me that answer and I acted on it. Whatever the situation is, maybe not as drastic as that. It could be something as small as things that you did in the gym, but it's a lesson in everything. And that's what self-reflection is. And when you learn a lesson and you actually practice it and take heed, and that's why self-reflection is an ongoing process. I don't know why for the life of me, I thought it was a quick fix. It's just like doctors and how they give you ibuprofen and Tylenol for everything in the military. I thought it was just a quick thing, like, boom, all right, I'm good to go. I thought about this. This is my lesson. This is my vitamin. This is my ibuprofen for right now. You know, if it happens again, I know what to do. No. Self-reflection is literally an act of love for self, like self-awareness. I'm aware that I have emotions, that I have intuition in my gut to tell me if I should do something or if I shouldn't do it. I've learned these lessons before. I've been on this earth before. We've all been here, which is a whole nother conversation that we'll have in the last couple posts on self-reflection. Let me know what you think. What are things you do for self-reflection? How do you go about that in a moment? Do you do it at the end of your day? Do you do it when you go to your car after a situation happens? Some people even quick reflect. It's like they have a freaking superpower to reflect on things and be like, shing, shing, like self-reflection mode. I'm just like, I don't know how you are reflecting that fast on a situation that just happened like 5 minutes ago. But again, like I said, we're all amazing human beings with such powerful minds. Everybody does it at their own pace. And that's what's so wonderful, because it might not be meant for you to break something down in that moment. It might be meant for you to do it later on again and self-reflect and look in that mirror. Sometimes we look in the mirror, in the rearview mirror, to reflect on moments like I just told you about, so we don't make that same mistake, or so that we keep that modification or change. Self-reflection can be preparation. Look in that mirror and stay in tune with your all-star player, because that's you. Ain't nobody else in that mirror but you. You're coaching yourself. You the coach, you the player, you the referee. You know what's best for you. It's up to your gut and what you feel. We all have choices. We take responsibility for those choices. We could go deeper. Again, if you hit me up on The Art of Ashley with underscores in between on IG, and you want to interact, feel free, and we can continue the conversation, because this is not the only time we will talk about self-reflection. We will refer back to this mirror. We will definitely refer back to perspective and the lens in which you're looking at things from, because it depends on your mood and what you're looking at. It depends on your ability to take a step back from a situation and really look at it. It is who you are today and the love that you have for yourself. This love thing is beautiful, and love grows. And the love for yourself, this self-love right here, this self-love is definitely going to grow over time. And this is only 2020. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years in my life of self-love. Anyway, we got to infinity and beyond. The love that we have for ourselves is infinite. We are loving ourselves more every day and loving each other. But in order to grow that love with others, this love for ourselves, we got to cultivate it. We have to sow these seeds, y'all. We got to till the soil, let it breathe, drop them seeds in there. If you want to get some manure and instead of using Miracle Grow fertilizer, you all organic, plant-based, let's do it. Let's cultivate it. Put them eggshells in there. Make sure you get in your water. But you got to make sure you do a lot of things like breathe, feed these seeds right, self-reflect and look at what the seed needs to grow more. Does it need more light? Does it need more water? Does it need more food? Do you need to get rid of the BS and not put manure in it? A little bit less on the BS? Do we need to look at the environment that it's in? Is it too cold, too warm, too dry, too hot? And that's a part of life. And like I said, this is constant because things change. Climate changes. Your mental and physical climate change. And it's cool. Change is good. Let's grow. Let's grow together. So we're planting these seeds, y'all, right? So what are seeds you planting? What seeds are we out here planting for these self-reflection seeds? What are lessons you're learning about self-reflection? Are you impatient with yourself? Are you impatient with others? Are you too nice? What do y'all do out there to help your spirit, to help your mind and your body? Let me know what else you're doing to look in that mirror. What are some things that you're doing to better yourself and your mirror of self-reflection? Be it physical, mental, or spiritual, meditation, prayer, diet, exercise, checking yourself and checking in with yourself and reflecting and making changes and modifications, doing better, being a better you, loving ourselves. Because you know what? I love me. Do you love you? Thanks everybody for joining and listening on this episode. Catch me this Tuesday and every Tuesday with Love Me.